Greetings and salutations, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Just Jazz podcast. Today we have a very special guest. This is Jesse. As I explained to you guys, I pick people that are interesting. He's 6 feet 9 inches tall, and I'm 2 feet 9 inches tall. And after talking to him for a couple minutes, I'm like, you know what? He's got to be on the podcast because we've had very similar experiences for opposite reasons. And I'm really excited to talk to him. But before we begin, if you want to see the picture that we took together, check it out on Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe to the channel and consider becoming a patron on patreon.com for $5 a month. It supports me and the channel, and there are different perks included in all of that. All of that can be found on the links up there or the links to every video in the description below. So without further ado, Jesse, where were you born and what time?
I was just telling you before, I was born.
Know that.
What?
You're not supposed to let them know that. We had technical difficulties. This is the second time. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was born in Loma Linda, California. It's just east of LA.
Okay.
And I was born at around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Just because that's the most annoying time you can possibly be born.
I was born at 4:30.
Yeah,
So,
there we go. You got me beat.
It's not a beat. It's just like we come out, like clearly we're going to be very dominant creatures in society because we couldn't wait for a normal time.
No,
we had to
we come
come out
making a splash.
now. Literally making a splash. Don't you feel bad for us when we were like, come on, we so warm and cozy in there, and then we just
I know.
into the
Plus,
universe.
my poor mother. I wasn't a small baby either.
Yes, because how big were you as a baby?
Oh man, I was about 10 pounds.
Damn. Wasn't
Yeah.
it, I know this is, you don't have to answer. That's one thing I will ask everything. It is your,
It's my responsibility to
can
filter.
say no.
Got
Yes.
it. Cool.
Was it a natural birth that you know of?
Yes, as far as I know. Yes.
No further questions. Bless your mother. Bless her. Pushing out a 10-pound
She's an incredible woman.
baby. All right, no further questions, okay?
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. So I tell people it's true. Because of my size, I can't have kids naturally. Mm-hmm. And all of my cousins and friends who have been or are pregnant say to me, you're not missing anything. Consider yourself lucky. My one friend said they had an alien growing inside of them. I won't say the name because the kid's old enough to be like, Mommy, what do you mean I'm an alien? But yes, go on. So you were born what year?
1990.
Oh, okay. So we're like a
Yeah.
year apart. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're not too far apart. Height doesn't always equal age, so I'm not that much older than you.
Profound statement.
You'd be surprised how many people make that assumption.
That's true. Well, yeah, you're right. I was at where was I? You know the auto show in the convention center? Yeah. I was at the auto show in my chair, and it was me and my mom and little baby and this little toddler. He had to be 3. He's walking with his parents. He points to me and says, "Hey, look, Mommy, a big baby." To me. And my mom falls out laughing. The kid, you can tell the parents are mortified.
Absolutely mortified.
And I'm just like, and I told the dad, I'm like, he's not wrong. So, I am a big baby. And you can
I always feel like a child inside, you know?
Yes, a child at heart. Yes. So, like, what's it like? You said before we did this, you grew up in a 7-day Adventist community?
No, I did not grow up there.
Okay.
So my parents, I was born there because my parents were both there doing their residency. They met in residency. They're both doctors.
Oh.
Fancy pants over here.
Okay, what kind of doctors are they?
My dad is a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
And my mom is a pediatric ear, nose, and throat surgeon.
An ENT surgeon?
Yeah.
Okay,
ENT
cool.
surgeon, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool.
So your dad made sure you looked your best at all times.
Not exactly.
And your mom made sure everything up here was working.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, I saw a movie, it was where this guy was a plastic surgeon, and for his daughter's 16th birthday, this was part of the movie, he's like, I'll give you plastic surgery. Like, she didn't ask for it, and I'm just like, you're basically telling your child they're ugly.
Yeah. That's a hard. That's a rough life.
Has your father ever offered you plastic surgery as a gift?
No,
Good.
definitely not.
Good,
no.
good. Has your father ever looked at you and like sized up your face?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When I was a child, he used to take the Sharpie to me and make sure that I knew that I really needed some more. No, I'm joking. No, he never did anything like that.
That would be. I'm just sitting here like, this is going to be a therapy session.
No.
Yes.
No, my dad did. My dad primarily does what he likes to call mommy makeovers.
Okay.
Linking back to our earlier conversation about natural births, there's a lot of there's a lot of reconstructive surgery that can happen around.
Does he do you? Wow.
No, not that. Tummy tucks.
Tummy tucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Did he do that to? Did your mom ask him to do hers? Did she ever have
No.
anything like that?
That feels like personal medical
Personal
medical information of my
Well,
parents.
you know what I mean.
But no, my dad does not operate on my mother.
Good. I mean, don't give it away, but yeah, I don't want to know. I'm
Just say. Well, I think one of the things that many surgeons will tell you, especially both my parents, is like, like I had tubes and tonsils and stuff when I was a kid. My mom didn't do any of that.
like ears.
Yeah,
Okay.
like tubes in my ears, and I had my
Okay.
tonsils and adenoids removed.
You know what? Adenoids?
Adenoids, they're like tonsils.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we all have those? That's a stupid question. But
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think so.
Okay.
You can't fact check me on the spot. This
I
is,
mean,
this
it's
is
okay. We're not a podcast of fact. I would like to be as factual as possible.
Well, then the most factual thing I can say is maybe.
So your dad does tummy tucks. Good to, and your mom is.
Oh, so what I was saying before though is, my parents both recommend not operating on anyone that you can't be emotionally detached from.
Just in case there's a lawsuit.
No, not for a lawsuit, but like when you're a surgeon, the mentality is like, I need to go in and do the thing.
Okay.
Like it's almost it's like you're fixing the thing, you're removing the thing, you're stitching up the thing.
All the things.
But it's very much like you are very detached from the fact that this is a person.
Right. And you don't want to put anyone in that position where it's more than a person.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. If it's like your loved one that's in front of you, it's very difficult for you to be focused on the task at hand and really approach it as a surgeon should.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Okay.
This is all secondhand, of course. Through
Right.
my parents.
Of course. We don't want to know. And the only reason why I'm being so personal is because I watched documentary. It wasn't a documentary. It's called Home Videos with the comedian. His name's Gerard Carmichael, and I watched it last night, and apparently, his mother's father cheated on her with multiple kids. And had multiple kids that were outside the marriage, and they're still together. And Gerard legit straight up asked his mother, "Would you want a new fuck your husband? Would you want to get a new?" So I'm like, that's the kind of questioning I need to ask people in that way. So that's why I asked you that question. I'm like, Gerard has inspired me. And the mom's a sweet one. Oh no, I'm going to stick with them. And it was just too sweet. So that's why I asked you that. Shout out to Gerard, because I know he's listening to the podcast.
Definitely.
So, moving along, how By the way, the N-word does get bleeped in this. There are not many
That's fair.
things I bleep, but I will bleep that.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't venture into that territory, though.
I mean, if you want some Black history, you're always more than welcome. And you can't tell me you've listened to Gold Digger without saying it with your homeboys. He's not denying it. Of course you have. It's okay.
Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 siblings.
Okay. What are they like? How far apart are you guys?
My brother is 3 months older than me, and my sister is 2 years old. 2 years younger than me.
So it was like, your parents are like, I want kids, but I still want a life afterwards. Let's knock them all out right now.
Yeah.
They can all grow up together and get the hell out together.
Yeah. Actually, I have an interesting family story.
I cannot wait.
So
Do tell.
So I grew up. I grew up an only child. I was an only child until I was 18, 19. So basically until adulthood.
Okay.
My brother was my best friend since childhood.
Okay.
Since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
We met in kindergarten. And
Oh.
yeah.
So they're like, oh, that's so sweet.
So yeah, my parents adopted him later on.
Why did they adopt him?
Just he needed a family.
Okay, I was in foster care. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was already a part of our family. We were just making it official.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't have to suffer too much
Yeah,
outside.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And
It is.
okay, so your best friend became your brother.
Indeed.
That's beautiful. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, I asked for a brother for Christmas.
And it never came.
No. My parents, when they adopted him, they were like, "We finally got you one." It just took us 15 years.
Wow. So how old were you when he was adopted? 18, you said?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Honestly, it's maybe 19.
That's got to be emotional for all of you, in a good way.
Oh yeah,
To know that he was adopted.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it didn't change much except, then I always text him when the family event happens, instead of most of the time.
I think, as somebody who was a foster child, I was probably similar to your brother in the sense he probably always knew he could go to your house regardless before it. And I had a home where I was very safe, but there was always that twinge of second guessing. Do they really love me? I don't know if he's ever brought it up. But most foster kids or whatever he dealt with go through, no matter how much love. When I got adopted at 14, maybe he feels to say, I don't know, you feel complete. You feel like, yeah, now I'm going nowhere. Even though your parents have shown you that they're not going to take you anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever discussed this with you, but most people feel that way. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. I mean, if he probably doesn't share it because he has you guys. It's not necessary. And I remember I didn't tell my mom because I was afraid I was going to hurt her feelings. Because it's like, not hurt her feelings, but like, what you mean you were afraid?
What do you mean you questioned while you were just a foster child?
Yeah. And I'm not saying he's the same way. I'm just saying it's very likely that he might feel that way. Because a lot of in that situation.
Yeah, it's easy to feel that way.
Poor kid. But he's got you guys. So you have your best friend / brother.
Yes.
And then you have...
so my sister is an even more interesting story.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so she has... she's not legally or officially my sister, but she's my sister.
Right.
She has a mom who's a single mom.
Okay.
And who is a very close friend of my family's.
Okay.
And at some point while she was in her her mom asked my parents if it would be okay if my dad was her father figure, and made it like officially like he was her father figure, because he was already kind of like performing that role. And yeah, so when she was like 15 or 16, she started calling him dad, and he started spending more time with her and their family. Yeah, it was.
All to make her happy.
Well, basically, I mean, I like to say my parents were so awesome I had to share them.
When I was in elementary school or middle school, because my mom's a foster parent, she would take in, and this would be my teacher, your mom's still picking up strays? And I'm like, what the I won't say the teacher, but he's a great guy.
It's so true, though.
Yes.
The amount of, like, those are my two siblings that it's like very, very official, and they've been a part of our lives for a long time. But there is definitely a lot of other people over the years that my parents took in for stretches of time.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Not getting into it, but I'm sure being a doctors make it a lot easier to help out as many people as possible. Because I know some people are just selfish and have like the world, and they still wouldn't do what your parents have done.
My parents are two of the most generous people that I know, that's for sure.
Oh, so is my mom. I'll show you a picture. I can't put it online because he's a foster child, and they're like legal issues.
I know. Some of my
I'll
family
show you.
have had foster children as well.
He's 6 months. I want your reaction so everyone knows he's like the cutest.
Because he's the cutest person ever. I'll try to really communicate
Yes.
the cuteness through my reaction.
That's my mom, and
Oh, he is adorable. I love it.
he's
I love it.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Yeah, last thing I'll show you, he likes to eat.
He's got some meat on his bones, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He is so cute. He's a
Looks
lot
like
of
you got a loving mother there too.
Yeah.
She looked quite proud.
He does this thing now. He say, peekaboo. He'll go like that. Or take a sheet and put it, because he likes playing with this box, one of his old Pampers. So when he's in his little pack and play, I'll put the box over him and say, go figure your life out. Or he'll drool on me, and I'll be like, don't you have something better to do with your time than drool all over me?
Nope, that's pretty much all babies do.
He's amazing. It's like being able to, not that I do anything, but I do play with them a lot,
Yeah.
being able to give
That's a big part
someone,
of it.
yeah. When I come home, he kicks and screams because he's happy to see me. And for 2 minutes, I'm like, I love him. And then he starts pulling on my hair and my face and my shirt and wiping his snot all over me. And I'm like, do I really love him?
Really, babies lack manners entirely. It's really abysmal.
Somebody said that babies are like bald, teethless sacks of skin. And I said, shit.
Whoa.
It's true, but I'm just like, hot damn. Poor kid. Okay, we're still good. So anyway, so you have these, you're an only child, but your parents essentially adopted two people.
Yeah.
Two people. And awesome. So did you ever feel like you weren't loved? I'm just asking. Did you ever feel like, oh man, why?
No.
Good.
In short.
In short, no. So moving on in your life, tell me, because you told me, what was it like being your height? I want to know so we can compare stories. Take me through a little bit of did you find it challenging? And do you have muscle aches because of how big you are? I have
Lots of them.
Okay, me too.
So I grew really quickly early on when I was very young.
Okay.
So I hit 5 feet tall in kindergarten
Poor thing.
when I was around 5 or 6 years old, and outgrew my teacher in kindergarten.
Poor thing.
Who she was terrified of me because I was a tiny little 5-year-old behaving like a 5-year-old, except I wasn't tiny.
You were almost a toothless.
a grown person.
Yes, a toothless sack of skin. Oh, you like that movie Jack with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. That was so sad. Anyway, I actually got upset when he died. I went, I don't know this man, but I'm truly broken up about it.
It somehow like touches you in
Yes.
a big way.
So you were 5 feet in kindergarten.
Yeah,
What was
so
that
I had
like?
I had a lot of growing pains
Okay.
before going into kindergarten because I was growing so fast.
Okay.
And then I only have like one memory of kindergarten, and it's literally being in the classroom, and the teacher was measuring me, and I remember one kid going, "Oh my gosh, he's 5 feet tall!" Like that's my one like flash of kindergarten.
That's not too bad.
It's not the worst.
My only flash of kindergarten, apparently I hit a kid with my lunchbox because he tried to take my pudding cup.
Hell yes.
And I wasn't having it.
Oh my gosh. So I grew up an only child.
Yes.
And I was so massive.
Yes.
And like, so before kindergarten, I went to preschool and had like some interaction with other kids, but I didn't have the same level as like if you have siblings.
So did you ever get to talk like, because you're bigger, you have to play nice or be not too rough, stuff like that?
A lot of that. I had a lot of that. I got a lot of that. but also when I was in kindergarten, I didn't really understand the concept of sharing. Because
You're an only child, yeah.
It wasn't a thing that was a part of my daily life.
You didn't have to share.
So they had to sit down and have a talk with me. Basically, like, because in the kindergarten classroom, whenever we would have playtime, I would just walk over and grab the toy that I wanted to play with and start playing with it.
Out of other kids' hands.
Well, maybe in front of them, or yes,
yes.
basically out of other kids' hands.
I was about to say, don't lie.
But I had no concept that was not
wrong.
okay.
Okay.
and so I would do that, and I was an extremely sensitive kid.
The big people usually are.
Yeah. And they were scared of me, so they wouldn't cry until I like walked away. So I had no feedback.
Oh, so you didn't even know what you were doing?
I didn't even know what I was doing. So they had to sit me down. My teacher and my parents sat me down and was like, so Jess, you can't just take things. That's not okay. You have to, if somebody else is playing with something, that you have to let them play with it.
Right.
They're very upset with you for not letting them, and I was devastated.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. So I like the fact that you didn't know because they would cry after.
Yeah. Because they were just like too mortified in the moment.
Apparently, so I was in foster care. I was in one home, and like I consider him my father, even though we're not related. My blood. He's my dad.
I'm well aware of that kind of relationship. Yeah.
He's my father. Apparently, he told me that I told him, because I was really tiny, "You're so big and I'm so small. Don't touch me." And he would he said before they took me in, he would bring me cookies.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Hey Jess, can I have a cookie?" And I tell him no. And not to touch me.
Nope, don't touch me.
Yes. So to get him to let him touch, he'd say, "Want to go for an airplane ride?" And in the 90s, overalls were like the shit. He would pick me up from the back of him. He's like, "Put your arms out." And he'd parade me through the house.
That was the only time you'd let him touch you.
Other than it's like, "Can I pick you up?" No. Want to fly? Okay, yeah. So
That's not touching me though. I'm just flying.
Exactly. I'm doing all the work. You just.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You see my arms flapping?
Exactly. So he's the one who told me to defend myself when people pick on me. So it's his fault that kid got hurt for taking my pudding. So
You smack him with that lunchbox. Sometimes they deserve it.
So moving along in your life, What was it like? So you go to, what was elementary, middle, high school, and beyond? Like, what was that like for you?
Middle school. So, this is one thing I didn't mention it earlier.
Okay.
So my name is Jess.
It's not Jesse?
There is an E there, but it is just Jess.
Oh,
The
I'm
E-
sorry.
No,
Okay.
totally fine.
Yeah.
As any sane person would pronounce it Jesse. Because there is an E there. But,
Right. So why
so-
not put an E? Why would your parents not? Why
It's not. It wasn't up. It was actually not up to my parents, or up to my grandparents. I'm a third, and
Oh, you're the third.
I am the third.
Oh.
So my great grandfather apparently decided that Jess with an E was the name that we were going with.
Jess Coffey.
Yep,
Okay.
Jess Coffey.
All right. Jess Coffey. Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
What's your middle name?
Alan.
Alan. Alan. Okay, it's an inside joke for something else. Okay, it's from Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Alan, like that came out of nowhere.
Alan.
Yes, that was so stupid. The whole movie.
Usually it's the. Do you remember the BBC talking animals thing? No. Alan.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I know of like talking animals. Remember the honey badger videos?
Oh yeah.
Honey badger don't give a shit. Look at
I
this
bet you don't care.
Yes. Yes. The good days of YouTube.
Oh man, the glory days.
I can't even get into it. Tell you that, Joe. Shout out to James Charles. Anyway, that's.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about that?
No.
We're not going to get into it.
Okay, we're not gonna
But
get
you
into
know
it.
who you are.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So my name's actually Jess
Jess, I will
with
never
a
call you.
silent E.
Where are you from? Like, what's the as Trump says, the oranges. What are the origins? He said that he couldn't pronounce it. So what are the origins of your name?
Well, there's some family lore there. The origins of my name are, I mean, my family on my dad's side is Irish Catholic,
Okay.
which is where that comes from.
Okay.
But
Sure you don't want to try?
yeah, sure,
Okay, yeah.
I'll try a little bit.
I mean, this is wine, guys. I can't show the name unless y'all want to sponsor me.
I mean, it's on the backside too, so.
No one can read that. We have problems.
If they can, props to them. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Jess.
Yeah, Jess.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Right? Are you into sweet wines or dry wines? They're having a wine tasting thing on Friday.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go. It's the one up the street.
Oh dang it. I'm.
Oh yeah, you'll be away.
Yeah, I'll be out of town. I'll be in Texas.
They have
But-
one weekly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
I'm going only because I want to know. They don't just have you taste wine; they teach you about the aging process and what that. And that's what I'm interested. I like learning things.
Gotcha. Well, I moved here from San Francisco. And
Okay.
My friends and I went many times up to wine country.
Napa,
Oh yeah. Oh,
Well,
it's
then
Napa. Mostly Sonoma.
you're the person to talk to.
Hell yeah.
You and your girlfriend, does she like it?
Yes, she likes wine very much as well.
Well,
Her
we all
mom
gotta-
thinks that I think her mom low key thinks that we're alcoholics. But she's cool with it. She still buys us wine, so.
we all gotta hang out. I'll bring a friend so it doesn't look like I'm the third wheel. But we all have to, yes. So,
Hell yeah.
growing, so like through elementary, when did you stop growing? What was it like for you being as big as you are? Tall as you are?
Well, so in elementary, in middle school, it sucked. Sucked hard. Not gonna lie.
Did you get picked on?
I did. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean, not like, not physically, but they would.
They say so.
They were always faster than me. it's hard to get this much mass moving quickly.
I noticed that. I'm like, why aren't tall people fast? Because I would
Momentum.
outwalk somebody because I can't walk. And I'm like, the fuck is this? You should be eons away from me.
I mean, walking speed is a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
But changing direction is very difficult for people my size.
I'm sorry. So.
Oh, you know, there are worse things in the world.
Exactly.
I think I can survive.
But you said you're sensitive, so did it bother you ever?
Yeah, it did. It did. Bothered me quite a bit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But then I got to high school and realized, oh, all of that does not actually matter.
Right? So we do math. Did you ever play sports?
I did. So the way I grew was very interesting. So I was always tallest in my class.
Right.
Forever. So I hit 5 foot in kindergarten.
Okay.
And then I grew to around 5'10" in 8th grade.
Okay.
Which was like pretty tall, but not ridiculous.
Right.
And then I grew 7 inches in between 8th and 9th grade.
Ouch. That sounds like it hurts.
That was the second time that it was extremely painful.
So growing was painful?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Very much. Yeah.
In what way? Why was it painful?
Well, I mean, you're like, so when your bones are like lengthening, your tendons and muscles aren't really growing to accommodate.
I can't relate, but continue.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that your tendons and muscles aren't really growing to accommodate. So they're like stretching out to massive amounts because your bones are lengthening and they're just like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly. So what did you do?
I just hurt for a summer. Yeah.
Oh, summer.
Yeah.
Did you take anything for it? Like,
No.
what was your? No, you just dealt with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fine. I just had some sleepless nights. It wasn't.
Aw.
It's not like atrocious or anything.
Okay.
It's not horrible, but it is definitely like I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But so what did you play? What sport did you play?
Well, I played every sport that I could possibly get my hands on
Why?
because I loved sports. I loved all of them.
Me too. I don't love all of them, but like, what sport do you think you were the best at?
Well, I was definitely the best at football.
Of course.
I was a very large human being that couldn't jump super high,
Okay.
but was pretty strong. So football was my sport.
What about basketball?
That couldn't jump very high really was limiting in that respect.
Okay, you're a center, right? You're a center. You're a center.
But so I went to a large school in the Dallas area.
Don't tell me you were a guard, because I'll start dying of laughter.
I was a tackle.
In basketball?
Oh, no. Sorry, guard in basketball? No. I was definitely a center in basketball.
Good.
But I didn't play basketball in high school. Because the high school that I went to, well, they honestly didn't need me. They were.
Were they a good team?
They were a pretty good team, but they were mostly like, I would have been the third or fourth tallest person on the team.
Oh, so you don't matter in a way.
Yeah, exactly. They had some solid centers that were better than me.
How did you do in football?
I did very well.
Did you play all high school and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. What's your number?
72.
Really? Do you still have your jacket?
Yes, I still have my leather jacket. Of course. Of course.
Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah.
But
and
not
then,
for that, but yeah. So college.
Wait, what did you get a leather jacket for?
It just.
I gotta. You can't just float that out there.
I worked for not leather. So there wasn't a jacket. What they did was like they let us pose with the jacket, and then they took it back.
What the
then
hell?
I bought one. I went for Penn State basketball, women's team.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a time.
That
was awesome. A time. You know what? I made some good friends, and we may not talk to each other all the time, but they're good. So
I mean, how often do you really talk to your high school friends?
This was college.
Oh, it was college?
Yeah. Shout out to Stephen Fischler and Jen Montoya. You know who you are. They were cool. They got me they got me through it.
That's
But they
awesome.
were really cool people.
That's fantastic.
Wow. So what about college?
Well, I kept playing football in college.
Really?
Yeah.
What division?
Division One.
Really? Where
Yeah.
did you go?
I went to Nebraska.
You're a Cornhusker?
I am indeed a Cornhusker.
What? So you're in the Big Ten?
Well, actually, at the time, we were still in the Big 12. I played the last 2 years in the Big 12.
Is it the Big 12 or Pac 12? Is it the
No, it was the Big 12. The one
Okay.
with all the Texas schools.
Yeah.
The middle of the country.
What? You're a Big 12. Well, now you're a Big 10. But you're
Yeah.
good. Ever look back and be like, there's certain schools that don't deserve to be in the Big 10? Like Rutgers, what are you doing? Anyway.
Like, seriously, what the hell are they doing? That was the Big Ten trying to capture the New England TV audience.
I'll never forget. So I used to, when I was in college, for football, I did, basically, I don't know what it's called, but basically you're in charge of 4 cameras and you sure-
you were one of the filmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make sure the
We're the film
lighting
crew.
is perfect. So when they get the camera on you, the lighting is good.
Mm.
And like you would think it'd be easy, but like a sunny day it sucks.
Yeah.
On a cloudy day it's not too bad. But anyway, we played Rutgers one time and it was like 42-8. It was a blowout. I almost fell asleep at my station because they were so bad.
Where'd you go to school?
Penn State.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first 2 years at Nebraska, we were in the Big 12.
Okay.
And then we went to the Big 10. I didn't play my second 2 years. I had an injury, so I had to be done. But the
You
second
didn't
2
even play.
years.
Were you a bench warmer?
What?
Were you a bench warmer? Your last 2 years.
The first year I was redshirted, so I couldn't.
You were what?
I redshirted.
Oh, you were a redshirt?
Yeah.
Did you transfer from another school?
No. So, when I first came in, they didn't want to play me for the first year, so they redshirted me to preserve a year of eligibility.
Okay. For you guys that don't know, redshirting, there are like different reasons why you would be a redshirt. But basically, you're on the team, you're part of the team, but you don't have the ability to play. And the reasons why you can't play, there are multiple reasons.
Right.
So for my sports people out there, that's what a redshirt is.
Yep.
Okay, so you
Yes, indeed.
redshirted. So you played sophomore and junior year?
I played sophomore year, and I got injured during the season sophomore year.
So you really didn't. Oh wow!
I didn't play that much.
You're like the Nick Foles of college sport. Don't come after me, Nick. But you know.
Yeah. I didn't. No. Yeah, I didn't end up playing that much. I got injured pretty quickly.
How'd you get injured?
One of those freak accidents. I was blocking a linebacker and went to plant my foot, and the arch of my foot folded in half. Would not recommend.
Did you ever see that thing on basketball? I think it was Kentucky.
Oh
the guy,
God, no.
You know what I'm talking about?
I can't watch that.
I think-
as someone who has been on the receiving end of many sports injuries, I can't watch that. It's too real.
There's nothing funnier than watching big men as yourself completely emotionally fold and crumble. I mean, I did too. When I saw that stick up, I'm like, what the happened?
No. You just can't. I just can't watch that. I know the months of surgery and rehab ahead. And it's
I don't think you had a plastic surgeon.
he was not terribly helpful in that regard.
So, question. So, like, were you on scholarship?
Yeah.
So, what happens when you injure yourself? Do they cut you off and say better luck next time?
Actually, this is a little shout out to Nebraska, but they are one of the schools that really take care of their injured athletes, and they kept me on scholarship for the rest of my time there.
Really?
Until
So you didn't have to do anything financially.
Yeah, no.
God bless.
Yeah, I was really lucky. Nebraska treats their athletes really well.
Shout out to the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, hell yes.
So, what year did you graduate, and what's your degree in, and what do you do now? And then I have a few other questions for you. Let's see.
So, I graduated from Nebraska in 2013,
Okay.
and I graduated with a degree in civil engineering.
We have 10 minutes to go. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, civil engineering.
Yeah, and then I went on to grad school,
Okay. Where'd you go?
Stanford.
Whatever. Whatever. Okay.
I could be like, oh, that like one school in Northern California.
Okay.
You can catch Princeton people all the time that they say they went to a small school in New Jersey. That's always Princeton.
Right.
They're just trying to be low key about it.
I mean, Princeton is a nice area.
Yeah.
I've been kind of near it, meaning I passed it on the NJ Transit. And that's basically it.
That's about my relationship with the two.
Yes.
But and then I got my graduate degree in aerospace engineering, and I
you're
work.
smarty pants.
I keep pretending.
Okay.
I apparently am convincing.
Okay. So then.
And then now I work in the satellite industry. So I work on the company I work for now does software for satellites.
Okay. Wow.
It's called Cubos. We do like mission control software, and then the software that runs on the satellite itself.
So why are you here and not in like San Francisco?
Well, my company is totally remote, so
Okay.
I can be anywhere.
Okay.
But I have a girlfriend
Oh, okay.
who is not quite as mobile as I am.
What does she do if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah.
You don't have to give a name.
She's a data scientist for Vanguard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you both are smarty pants.
That's
Okay.
one of the many reasons I'm dating her. So.
Oh, so that's my not final question, but like one of my questions. Like,
Yeah.
what was it like dating before you locked in on your current girlfriend?
Interesting.
Hopefully it stays that, Not trying to put it.
Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Where's your ring?
What?
Where's your ring? I thought you said that was the goal.
Hey, I can't just divulge that kind of information.
Okay, I understand.
Podcast.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a surprise. It's got to be a surprise.
Obviously.
All right, make
This
sure.
is not a surprise kind of situation here.
Make sure make sure that ring matters. I don't really think that matters. I don't think we should put so much stock into an
Right.
engagement ring. Give me a really nice diamond encrusted wedding band. Don't give me a engagement. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of those people.
But you still need it diamond encrusted.
It doesn't matter. Like if we're married, we know we're in it forever. We're gonna die together, or what? You know what I mean? Till death do us part. So get me a damn good wedding band. Please and thank you. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, that's. I can't blame you there.
Right.
But, anyways, yeah. So, dating was very interesting. Mainly because I had a lot of taller female friends that would get very, very angry with me if I ever dated someone short.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had. Now I'm gonna ask you this. Of course, obviously don't have to answer. Have you ever had somebody who wanted to date you because of your size and they thought it was something to conquer? For instance, I've had people tell me they wanted to fuck me because I was short.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So you understand what I mean. Okay.
Yeah. It's not always the best feeling to
Exactly.
get oh, I'm a novelty. Cool.
Exactly. I had a guy in New York say, I don't even know him. He said, you want to come to my hotel with me? I have a thing for people in wheelchairs and your size. Like, you creep. No.
Stamp.
Right? So you definitely had women who just wanted, because it was something to achieve, like something off their checklist.
Yeah, of course.
Were you ever
and once you reach a certain small percentage of the human population, there's always some part of the rest of the population that's really into that.
Did you ever get suckered into it? I never have. But you're like, oh, they really like me. And then you're like, damn it.
Yeah, I think best quote was someone that told me, "Oh yeah, the first time I saw you was I thought I'm gonna climb you like a mountain."
Wow. They said that to you?
Yeah, it was
They're going to
interesting.
climb you like a mountain. Wow.
It was interesting.
Well, I mean, I respect the honesty.
It was very honest, yes.
Damn. Wow. I had somebody say to me, you know you want to climb that tree. You don't want to climb this tree. To me.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah, that
and I'm
happens,
just like, I don't want to climb anything. I've never climbed. Well, that's not true, but you know, no. So like, you and your current girlfriend, you guys are pretty smart. She's an analyst, and you're.
She puts me to shame often, but you know I try to keep up.
How does she put you to shame?
In the smarts department.
Oh, okay. So you just kind of just yield?
Well, I mean, sometimes you just have to.
Okay.
You just gotta admit your shortcomings, and
That's rude. My shortcomings?
no, I'm the one with those.
Okay, well, good. Just have to say, next time you, like, something happens to you, just know I swept by with my chair and, like, hit you.
With the lunchbox.
Yes, with the lunchbox. Right up. So, I guess, what is it? My other questions are, like, do you have any stories of, like, as tall as you are? Because I want to, like, not banter, but...
Oh, yeah. So...
Have you ever had people want to take pictures with you because you're interesting looking?
Constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
I know I didn't help, but... First of all...
Honestly, you were probably the most polite request I've ever gotten.
The other thing is, like, when I tried to get a picture with him, he was headphones in, looking down, like... You have like a coffee ritual or something? Because you were really into making your coffee or whatever you were making. Very bougie about it.
I shut off the world when I'm working.
Yes. But like, well, thank you for the compliment of being polite, but like, what has happened to you where you're like...
Well, there's been, one of the interesting things when I was younger, since I was so large so quickly, like I grew so much so quickly, people often assumed that I was much older than I actually was. So I would get, like one of the the most interesting time is I was accompanying my dad to work when I was about 4 years old. Yeah, around 4 years old. But I was like approaching 5 feet at this time. And I was doing things that, a normal 4-year-old does. I was, talking to myself, playing with the ball in the hallway, just entertaining myself like a normal 4-year-old. And one of my dad's nurses came up to him and said, Dr. Coffey, is your son slow? He just said, no. He's 4. and she was like, oh, I thought he was like 10 years old.
I would be like, even if he is 10, like, what's wrong with what he's doing? He's not bothering anybody.
He's not bothering you. Why are you asking me if he's slow or not? That's a weird question to ask.
That's kind of rude. So, like,
right?
Did your dad not say, I got this, like, big kid at my house? I don't know where he came from, but apparently he's mine.
Yeah, apparently he just popped out of the ground. But, no, it was, that was the most interesting thing is, like, people would often assume I was much older than I actually was.
Well, people would assume that I was much younger than I
Right?
actually... They would say to me, they would ask my mom, like, well, how old is she? And my mom would be like, why don't you ask her how old she is?
Right? It's the link in people's brains between size and age is so funny.
It was just like, she would be like, just ask her. And they're like, oh, well, how old are you? And I'd say, you can see like the embarrassment on their face because chances are I was a lot older than
It's like, I'm 15. Thanks.
Exactly. Has anyone ever come up to you like when you're younger and talk to you like you were slow? Like they slow down. Well, nice to meet you.
I wouldn't remember, to be honest, because I probably was too young to understand them.
And I'm like, why are you talking to me like that? And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Stuff like that.
Oh man,
And
I can only imagine.
You've gotten people who want to take pictures of you.
Oh yeah, frequently.
I mean, I was one of them, but I'm sorry. Once you saw how strong I was, you knew.
I mean, it was a picture worth taking.
Yes, once I'm like, look how strong I am, you're like, oh. Okay.
I am actually 4 feet taller than you.
Yes.
Another person taller than you.
Yes.
No, yeah. So actually, one of the funnier times is my girlfriend and I went on a trip to Vietnam, and we were like walking through. Why?
Why Vietnam?
What? Because it's gorgeous. It was a
I've
beautiful place. Yeah, it was. It was absolutely gorgeous. And
So you're in Nam.
yeah, we went to Nam.
Yes.
And we were going through the town square of, I think it was Hanoi, so northern Vietnam, and there was this festival going on, and there was this whole like dancing happening in the middle of the square, and we went out and danced, and so she's 5'9" and very blonde, and I'm 6'9" out there, and we're dancing, and like the average height of Vietnam is not very tall.
Right, like 5 feet.
We definitely
stood
stuck out a little bit.
Oh.
And it was actually really hilarious because after we came out of like the dancing area, these two women came up to me and asked like if we could take a photo all together.
Oh.
And they took one photo, and like as their friend was taking the photo of the two of them with us, like a line started forming.
Did you charge?
I did not charge.
Well,
no.
you should have.
I did not.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. I do get a lot of people asking like, do you get annoyed with people asking how tall you are and if they could take photos with you? And I always say like, my life would be very irritating if I decided to let that irritate me.
Exactly. So like to kind of close out, because I want to know. So like, because I want to give like I'll tell you like when you first saw me like in my olive glory of 2 feet. What did you think? Be completely honest. Brutally honest.
Well, I mean, I'm sad to say, but like I say, when I'm working,
Yes.
I close out the world.
You're like, I don't see anyone. So like,
I mean, honestly,
You're
not
right.
that much.
But
I'm like zeroed in. I'm working on my thing. I go to the coffee. I come back to the thing. I don't know. I thought, I wonder what she does.
oh, thanks. When I saw you, I said, that motherfucker. I'm like, that is not fair. I need to know how tall he is.
Hey,
Yes.
if I could give you some inches, I would be happy to.
I'm good. But yeah, that's funny. See, like, I really think of you. I didn't think anything of you or anyone else. I'm in my own world.
I don't know. Like, whenever I'm... Actually, there's a lot of people here at WeWork that I've like talked to in passing, but every time I do, I think like, oh man, now I have to like talk to them every day now.
You don't have. I mean, I can tell that you're in the zone, so like I don't even bother you anymore. Like, cause I
No, you're never a bother. You've always been super polite, but there's sometimes that people come by and it's like want to shoot the shit and small talk for a while, and I'm like, I'm working here. Like, what do you?
But I feel like you're too nice to say that.
Yeah, I usually avoid it, but I'll just casually drop. Oh, I like to be zeroed in whenever I'm here.
Do they get the hint?
I've gotten a couple people that got the hint. Yes.
You're like, not many do. Wow. So before we go, we're gonna go. Is there anything else? Any question? I always ask.
Well,
for
what
two
about?
things. You have a question for me, and then I ask my guests to tell us a funny story. Anything. Tell us a joke. So first, do you have any questions for me? And if not, that's okay too.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I want to hear. I kind of want to hear more of your experience growing up. Like, you grew up in foster care for the most part until you were 14.
Yes.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
And like you were the opposite end of the spectrum for me. And I'm sure you have some very intriguing stories.
Not really. I mean, I was only in 2 foster homes, so it's not like I've suffered. I didn't suffer at all.
Yeah, I mean,
but
good. That's good to hear.
I mean, there's definitely issues there because I know who my biological parents are and things like that. Yeah. Well, mom is, not parents. I don't know my dad. But, like, I had some baggage, but it's not like I suffered. I didn't suffer at all compared to, like, other people. I don't know about your brother, but, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, my followers are lucky to have, like, they know I've put up videos about it. But you and I can definitely talk, like, if you want, and we can go on about things. It's just I never want to bother you because you have such an intense coffee regime.
Hey, if I'm ever drinking beer, you know it's okay to talk to me.
Well, that's good to know.
That is always a signal. Like, I'm open for social hour.
I will be peering over. You'll be like, what are you doing? Oh, no beer? Okay, bye. Have a great day. And my last question for you is, you got a joke? Tell us something funny.
Yeah,
Tell us a joke.
I got a great joke. No, I got a great joke for you.
Okay.
It's a knock joke. It's a knock joke.
Oh, I hate those. But okay, I'm ready.
But you got to start.
Okay, I have to start?
Yeah.
But this is your joke.
Yeah, but you got to start.
Fine. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know. Knock. I forgot how to do it. That's pretty sad. You laugh. So knock, knock, who's there?
No, that's it. That's the joke.
What the fuck? That wasn't a joke. What's wrong with you? I do not like being tricked. That was weird. I have been hoodwinked and bamboozled, and I don't like it. You really have me drawn, and I'm like, you gonna tell a good joke? And joke's on me. And with that being said, thank you, Giant, Sir, Jess,
thank you, Tiny,
and Tiny Rude. Anyway,
what?
Yes,
People call me that all the time.
Tiny. I need a cooler name than Tiny, but we'll work on it. Thank you again. This has been fun. If you have any questions you want me to ask him personally, maybe he'll come back on for a later episode.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
we're obviously going viral.
I mean, clearly, wouldn't that be funny? Of all the videos I make, that's what goes viral. I would be so happy.
You sound almost bitter about it.
I would be bitter about it. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. If you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, and you can't see us again, he's 6 feet 9 inches. I'm 2 feet 9 inches. I don't know what that is.
You should attach that photo with the podcast.
There won't be a photo in here. I don't know what it is in centimeters because the rest of the world uses metric systems and we don't.
Oh, I know my height in meters.
Me too. What's your height in meters?
I'm around 204.
I'm
205, something like that.
I'm 81.21 centimeters. So right?
Yeah.
Right?
It almost sounds. I think it sounds more impressive in metric than it does.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why we need to switch.
Right. Oh my God.
But
I'm an engineer. Like that's the. You're preaching to the choir.
As long as that idiot is office, we're not going to transfer that. Anyway, on that note, thank you guys for watching. Comment below. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me if you like the podcast. And if you're listening to it, I'm sure there's a place to comment and those kind of things. And yeah, with that being said, have a fantastic day. Stay blessed. And if you see someone who's a lot bigger or smaller than you, don't assume that they're slow or not. Just take them at face value and do what I did. What the?
Don't assume that they're
Don't
lumber.
assume. Do what I did when I saw him. What the fuck is that? Not that.
Do what I say, not what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this wine company, Rastatello, if you want to sponsor me, I drink you guys all the time. And with that being said, goodbye.
Goodbye.